Daniel chapter 4. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was living in contentment at home and enjoying the luxury of my palaces. However, as I lay on my bed, I had a dream that frightened me, and the visions that I experienced in my mind were a source of torment. Therefore, I issued a decree that all wise men of Babylon were to be brought before me and offer me their interpretation of the dream. When the magicians, the soothsayers, and Chaldeans, and the diviners arrived, I related to them the content of the dream, but they were not able to explain its meaning. Finally, Daniel, who I had renamed Belteshazzar, after the name of my God, and in whom resides the Spirit of the Holy God, came into my presence, and I related to him my dream. O Belteshazzar, chief of the magicians, I know that the Spirit of the Holy God resides in you, and that no mystery is too difficult for you to resolve. Listen to the dream and that I experienced, and tell me its interpretation. There were the visions that came to me as I lay in bed. I beheld a tree at the center of the earth, and its height was great. The tree became ever taller and stronger, until its top reached the heavens, and it was visible to the ends of the earth. Its foliage was beautiful, and its fruit was abundant, providing fruit for all. The wild beasts found shade under it. The birds of the air rested in the branches, and from it all living creatures were nourished. In the vision I saw, as I lay in my bed, I next beheld a holy sentinel coming down from heaven. He shouted loudly, "You down the tree and lop off its branches. Strip off its foliage and scatter its fruit. However, leave the stump and its roots in the ground. Bound with iron and bronze in the grass of the field, let him be bathed by the dew of heaven, and let his lot be to eat among wild beasts, the grass of the earth. Let the mind be changed from that of a human, and let the mind of a beast be given to him, until 7 years pass over him. Such is the sentence decreed by the sentinel, the verdict announced by the holy ones, so that all who live may learn that the Most High rules over the kingdom of mortals. He confers it on whoever he wishes, and appoints over it the lowliest of men. This is the dream that I, King Nebuchadnezzar, had. Now I am depending on you, Belteshazzar, to interpret its meaning. Although none of the wise men of my kingdom can interpret its meaning, you can do so because the Spirit of the Holy God resides in you. Daniel interprets the dream. Then Daniel, who is called Belteshazzar, was greatly upset and confused. The king said, "Belteshazzar, do not allow the dream and its meaning to terrify you." Belteshazzar replied, "My lord, may the dream be meant for those who hurt you, and its interpretation for your enemies. The tree that you saw, which grew great and strong, with its top reaching to the sky so that it could be seen throughout the entire earth, a tree with beautiful foliage and abundant fruit, providing food for all and affording shade for the wild beasts, with the birds of heaven dwelling in its branches. That tree is you, O king. You have grown great and strong, your power has increased, and now reaches the sky. Your sovereignty extends to the ends of the earth." In regard to the king's vision of a holy sentinel descending from heaven and saying, "Cut down the tree and destroy it, but leave the stump and its roots in the ground, bound with iron and bronze, in the grass of the field. Let him be bathed by the dew of heaven, and let his lot be with the wild beast, until 7 years pass over him." This is the interpretation, O king. It is a decree that the Most High has issued upon the Lord the king. You will be banished from heaven, from human society, and you will dwell among the wild animals. You will be forced to eat grass like oxen, and you will be drenched with the dew of heaven. 7 years will pass over you until you have learned that the Most High rules over the kingdom of men and gives it to whomever he wishes. As for the command to leave untouched the stump and the roots of the tree, this means that your kingdom will once again be subject to your rule, once you come to acknowledge the sovereignty of heaven. May the king be willing to take my advice, atone for your sins and with deeds of righteousness, and for your iniquities with mercy to the oppressed. If you do so, you will enjoy a long and peaceful life. The dream is fulfilled. All this happened to King Nebuchadnezzar at the end of 12 months. As he was walking on the roof of the royal palace, the king said, "How magnificent Babylon is! Was it not built as a royal residence by my mighty strength and for my majestic glory?" These words were not completely out of his mouth when a voice came from heaven. To you, King Nebuchadnezzar, it is decreed, your kingdom has been taken from you. You shall be banished from human society, as you are forced to dwell with wild beasts, and feed on grass as the oxen do. 7 years shall pass over you until you have learned that the Most High rules over the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he wishes. This sentence was immediately fulfilled. Nebuchadnezzar was cast out from human society, and he ate grass as oxen do. His body was drenched with the dew of heaven until his hair grew like the feathers of an eagle and his nail became like birds' talons. When the period was over, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes to heaven, and my power of reasoning was restored to me. I blessed the Most High, and I praised and glorified him, who lives forever. All who dwell on earth and count for nothing. He does as he pleases with the powers of heaven, and the inhabitants on earth. No one can stay his hand, or say to him, "What are you doing?" At that very moment, my power of reason returned to me, and my glory and splendor were restored to me. My counselors and my lords sought my counsel, and I was reestablished in my kingdom, and my power was greatly increased. Therefore now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, for all of his works are right, and all of his ways are just. Also, he is able to humble all those who follow the path of pride.